What up, guys? Today we're going to be reviewing episode 9 of Dragon Ball Daima. I'm not going to be talking about too much because not too much happened in this episode. Mostly, the more important stuff we got was towards the tail end of this episode, like 4 or 5 minutes left of this episode, which was kind of disappointing if I'm being honest, because last episode, episode 8, was so good. It was so entertaining seeing the whole fight between the Tamagami and Goku, and then them battling it out, and the animation and him transforming. Then not only beating him, but we got more of the story progression with Arisu and her plan, and trying to create the Majin, and I thought that was pretty cool with the lady who originally created him. So that was like a really cool stuff, and stuff was going forward. But this episode, it felt like they went back to what it was before that, where it was just a lot of them progressing and then the story building up, and it does take a lot of time. And the next episode is literally going to be episode 10, which that means we're going to be halfway through this series, because there's only going to be 10 episodes after that, and I feel like that's not a good thing to do, I mean, a series like this, 20 episodes seems like it's long, but when you're already like almost 10 episodes in and you've only had 1 or 2 episodes that was really like significant, it's kind of not a good look, because now we have to wait for the last 2 Tamagamis getting beat in the Dragon Balls and then the King Goma stuff. I feel like they just wasted a lot of time, especially this episode, because right after that, they're flying. Pansy complains about she wants to take a shower. She wants to go to a hotel. So they're like, fine, let's go to a hotel. So now we have this whole hotel scene, which takes quite a bit of time in the episode. First they're going to go, and they're worrying about Goku being found out because of his hair and the, power pole. So to hide his identity, she puts this weird hat. At first I'm like, what the hell? Why is she putting this on? It looks kind of goofy, but it was just to hide his identity. I was like, okay, that's good. And then she was like, oh, put your power pole in this bag. And then he had the Dragon Ball, and instead of just leaving it in the ship, or his power pole in the ship, they put it inside the bags and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then they walk in, and then this dumbass takes off his thing and starts scratching his head. I'm like, this guy's a fucking retard. Like, the whole point was to keep it on. And he was like, I'm itchy. But I'm like, even if you're itchy, bro, just hold off. You can handle being itchy for a bit. Just wait a little bit until you guys get into your hotel room, and then take it off. He couldn't wait at all. So then he got exposed, and there's 2 guys there, and I'm like, shit. They're already eyeing them. So once when they saw that, when that happened, I was like, they're gonna waste their time by having these 2 dipshits try to take it. It's like, we don't care about these random side character, fodder characters that get one-shotted trying to steal these Dragon Balls or fucking mess with them. It just wastes time, and it's like padding out the episode, which we really don't need, because like I said, we're on episode 9 and we're close to the halfway point of this show. We do not need any more episodes where these dipshits come up and try to mess with the main characters and like the cast. I would have rather had less than 20 episodes and had it more condensed and focused on the story than have 20 episodes and have most of these episodes about just shit like this. So they're coming after them. They go into their room. Pansy takes a shower. Goku has to go take a shower. He's trying to fight it. I'm like, why, you dirty piece of shit? He takes a shower. He doesn't have any other clothes, so she lends him hers. So it looks funny with him, and he has like pink shorts and like a weird pink shirt. He's just wearing it. He's like, I don't like wearing girls' undies. And she's like, you're not wearing my underwear. I don't know why he assumed the underwear first. Like, you could just wear your dirty underwear, bro. You just have boxers. Just keep that on. Nobody's asking you to put on a bra and panties. So I was like, whatever. And then you hear a ruckus. Obviously, one of the guys is starting a fight to distract them. Then the other guy comes from the back to take the Dragon Ball, and then he leaves. Goku tries to find him, but he can't. I don't know why he couldn't. He could have just sensed their energy, but apparently he couldn't. So Pansy put a tracker on the Dragon Ball, so they find him. They're all the way to the top. He pulls up on them. They start trying to get the ball away from him, and they're able to actually get away from him for a bit, even though he has super speed and could have instantly blitz them, but whatever. They just want to waste more time in this episode, like I said. So he was able to knock them out. He took the Dragon Balls, and then Grolo comes in. He gets them in his move, and then sends them flying like Team Rocket. They even do the shining thing, like ding. So they get rid of them. Then we finally go back to Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma and their situation. They're with Hebus, and apparently their ship got also stolen, which I guess is just a common thing there. So what happened was Vegeta got into a fight. I was assuming because they probably either mistaken him as Goku or whatever, or because he was a human, but apparently it was something even less, and it was way pettier. they were at this like nightclub area, and Vegeta was getting his food, and he was going back to his friends. And as he was walking by, he kind of bumped into a guy, and the guy got mad and threw a punch at him instantly. So he had to defend himself. So he was beating the crap out of them all. And since they got their asses whooped by a kid, they stole his ship just like how they did with Goku, which is kind of funny because it's like, okay, he bumped into you. Is that really necessary to try to start swinging on the guy? And especially when it's a child. It's one thing if it was a grown-ass adult, but he was like legit, obviously a kid, and you're trying to put hands on him. But then they stole a ship. I'm like, God, that's this shit again. So instead of them following to where Goku and them were, they had to wait for them to come. But I was just like, wait, their ship does not have enough room to carry them. What's going to happen there? So they come there, they pull up, so they finally get to meet up again. Vegeta finds out that, you know, he tells Goku that you got the Dragon Balls. He's like, yeah, I got the Dragon Ball. And they're like, let us come on there. Like, there's not enough room. We can't get rid of the other stuff. That's all of our equipment that we need. So they said, we're going to call the king to bring you guys another ship. So I was like, that's kind of pointless, though. You guys came back. You came there to talk to them, telling them, yeah, fuck y'all, we're going to leave. And we're going to keep on going. Goku's like, I don't care. I'm going to get the second Dragon Ball. I'm not wasting my time. And we're just going to send a ship here. They could have just called them back and said, hey, look, we can't make it. We can come back, but we don't have enough room on the ship anyway. So there's no point of doing so. So we're just going to have the king send you a ship where you are in your location. Sorry about that. We just really can't waste any time because we can't even pick you up anyway. Because it was pointless. They came there just to say that and then leave. So it's like, okay, whatever. I guess next episode we're going to get into the second world, which it just sucked because I hate them wasting so much time here. We literally wasted we're wasting half the series in this one world when we have two other ones, and the second one has the Supreme Kai's there. So I'm just like, you're wasting our time. Stop doing this shit. It's annoying. But whatever. They left, and then the other guys that stole the ship from Vegeta and them pull up, and then they're ready to jump them. I'm like, okay, good. They can whoop their ass, and then ask for their ship back. But also, that's pointless now that they had the whole ship getting stolen, and then Goku coming back and that. Just to have them get their ship back anyway and leave. Like, that's the type of shit that pissed me off. Because if you see any, like, person who would, a critique, not a critique, what's they called? A critic. Any critic that watches like a show or a movie who's supposed to criticize the show as a whole would criticize these certain aspects, saying there's pointless things like this that happen that don't matter. It's just wasting time. And it definitely was like, we did not need to see that whole shit of them getting the ship stolen, of they're just going to find out and get their ship back anyway. But they pretty much are bodying them. Vegeta's one-shotting each and every one of them. Piccolo even gets into the action, though he only gets to take one guy down. But they're punching them all in the back of the head. I was like, that's just crazy. And then the Hebrews guy, earlier he was like mentioning, he was talking about his belt. So like Bulma's looking, he's like, is that an eyeball? Why is it moving around? He's like, yeah, I just found some random eyeball and put it on. I'm like, who the fuck does that? Also, he said something pretty funny. He's like, you want to play zombies? He's like, okay. He's like, yeah, let's go into that forest. There's zombies there. Whoever kills the most zombies wins. And if you get bitten by a zombie and turn into one, then you lose. They're like, yeah, no shit. You're going to be a fucking zombie. And Bulma and Piccolo was like, nah, we don't want to play that. So he has this eye thing. Not only is it weird, but I also noticed that it's most likely the gem thingy, the eye crystal thing that Goma was looking for. And he thought, turning them into kids was enough to beat them, but clearly not. So maybe he might get that, see the eye thingy, realize that, hey, that's that gem that I was going to wish for, and just beat him and take it off of him, and then use it to increase his power just so he can have a better chance. I want to see what it's capable of. But after that, we skip to Goma and Degusu. Degusu is a dumbass. Apparently, he got a call and he found out about the whole, them coming to the demon realm, them taking the Dragon Ball. And he didn't tell Goma until now. And he said, yeah, I knew about this yesterday. And Goma's pissed at him, obviously. He's like, what the hell? And it just made me laugh because I'm like, he's definitely Shin's brother, because Shin was always fucking up. In the Buu Saga, he didn't have any understanding, any information on anything, always fucked up, made the worst decisions, and led to the whole problem. And he's doing the same thing. If you knew this information that they came there a day ago, and they already got the Dragon Ball, why wouldn't you tell the king? What was the point of holding that information, you dumbass? That was the dumbest shit ever. So, yeah, he told him, and he was pissed at him. So I was like, Yeah. And then the last few minutes, like I said, were the most important minutes where we go to Arisu and her talking to the other witch lady. They're cultivating the new Boo and they're actually having the pot and they're almost about to get him out. So I'm like, yes, we're going to get to see him. I was like, hopefully they don't end it before we see him. We luckily did get to see him. And if you guys see on the thumbnail, you see he's way different than the Boo that we've seen. I would have never assumed that he was a Majin Buu, but I guess it makes sense that they want to make a completely different design than instead of just redoing the same thing over again. But I think it's kind of ugly looking. So what happens is they have the pot and they have like dirt in their soil, and she mentions she has like this little bottle and she has these two little pill looking things. She's like, oh, I only have two of them now, and she mentions they're Cybermen. So I'm like, wait, what? And then she says that she used to have a lot more when she would sell it to other people, but now she doesn't have that much, and then she has to, she's limited on it. And it makes kind of sense they had like the shop with the bug stuff, so it kind of makes sense, but it's just like also like, wait, what? Cybermen came from the demon realm? So apparently Cybermen were also her creation. They also came from the demon realm and somehow got into the living world. She was selling them, so maybe she was able to somehow sell them outside of that world and got into the Frieza Force since he's the biggest guy there, and then the Saiyans also. So the Cybermen are also genetically created demons from the demon realm, just like how Boo is, and it was by the same lady, and it was just transported outside there. So she's talking about this. I'm like, what is she gonna do with this? I was assuming, is she gonna plant this so he can train to see how strong he is? I'm like, Cybermen are pretty weak, so that's not gonna be that great of a train, but whatever. Or are they gonna plant it in there and mix Cybermen there? And apparently that was the case, which I personally don't like that idea, but that's the direction they went. So she was saying something like, I'm gonna make the Cybermen this Majin Buu's base, and it should help you control it more. And she said she mixed a bunch of other monsters, kind of like Cell, where he had a bunch of other people's DNA in him, but this one's just monsters, and then put Cybermen there, and the Cybermen's the bases. So it's cultivating and it's growing, and the new Boo is coming out. So it's growing and it's a big stock, and they're saying it's perfect, and it breaks, and then we see him, and he's definitely like a fusion of. He didn't even look like Boo, but I guess you could say he was like a fusion of Kid Buu with a Cyberman, because he had pointy, he had green skin, he had pointy ears, he had the butt head that they have, which I don't like that design. I just felt like he looked ugly. He didn't look cool. I was kind of expecting him to look like the other Majin Buu, but just in a completely unique, different way. But I guess this makes more sense to make it completely different. There's no point of redoing the same design, just a little bit tweaked. But I still don't like this design. He's kind of small. He's kind of scrawny. The character looks ugly and just looks like an overgrown Cyberman, if I'm being honest. So I don't really like the way he looked, but I guess it matters more about what he's capable of and what we see from him in the fight. But she's like, okay, if now that he's grown to see how powerful he is, I'm gonna have him fight Tamagami 1, which is pretty interesting, and I want to talk about that towards the when I'm done wrapping up the review. She says that, and then the other lady's like, isn't that too much of a challenge? She's like, hey, if he can't beat that, then what's the point of having him? Which, yeah, I agree, that's true. Goku's beating them, and he can't even beat them, then you guys just failed. That's no point of having him as a threat. And he actually responds, which the other Boos obviously talk, besides Kid Buu, but I was just surprised. I was like, oh, this one can communicate? Okay. And the way he sounded, his voice sounded like Frieza's voice. And he had kind of like a Frieza mannerism with his like facial expression, so I'm guessing he's going to be acting kind of like Frieza. So he might be like conniving, might betray her in a more subtle way. And he looks like a Cyberman. And a little bit of Kid Buu, but more like Frieza. He also kind of looked like Frieza because he had the Frieza lines in his face, whatever. But yeah, that happens, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. So next episode, hopefully the rest, Piccolo, Vegeta, and Bulma could completely meet up with them. They go into the second demon realm together, just so two separate ships. The Majin Buu's out now, and since they're in the first demon realm, they're just going to send that Buu against the first Tamagami to get the Dragon Ball. So Goku's going to get the second one, or maybe Vegeta might fight in the second one, but we know they're going to get the second one, they already got the third one, and then to intercept them so they don't get all of them to beat the wish, Arisu is going to get her Buu to get the first one. And it's to test to see if he actually worked. Seeing as how they showed him like this, the other ones they mentioned before, She created other ones. They were weak, so weak that she was able to easily beat them. So they didn't show the other ones. The fact that they're showing this one, it makes me assume that, yeah, that this one is going to be the completed version, which I don't like his design. I was preferring something different, but whatever. It is what it is. Who knows? Maybe he might absorb some characters to get powerful and change his design might look a little bit cooler. But having a Cybermen as a basis, like really, Cybermen at this point are way too weak. Having them as a basis is not that impressive, but whatever. Who knows? Maybe it's different with this. And maybe it was specifically just for the control. But yeah, I don't. Besides the design stuff, I think it's fine. I like her plan of going against the Tamagami one because now if you take that, they might get the first two, but they don't have the third one. So now they're gonna directly have to fight him, her creation, to get the third one. So they can have two of them, then the third one. So it's pretty smart. They get the first two, and then she beats the Tamagami one. He takes the Dragon Ball. They have one in their possession. If they want to get the other one, they're going to show up and like, wait, what? It's already defeated? Yeah, they took it, and then they're going to have to basically fight them. So now it's going to be a scenario where it's like, you can't get this one until you fight them. And if you lose, they get two of yours. But if Goku and them win, then they get the last one, and then they basically win and get their wish. Which most likely is going to be the case because there's only like 10 episodes left. Or there's going to be 10 episodes left. I don't think they're going to have that much time. But I want to see what he's capable of. They're definitely going to show us his fight versus Tamagami 1. And Goma, since he found out, he's going to be enacting his plan. And I think once he gets finds about Ibisu and his, the eye crystal, he's probably going to take it for himself and then use it so he can have a leg up. So he's going to probably have the crystal. She's going to have the Cybermen, Majin Buu, which they call Kajubu or Buku Majin Ku or something like that. I think it was Majin Ku. So it's a different one. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Like I said, the ending part was the best part because one, we got built up to what's going to happen in the story. We got to see the Buu, and on top of it, we got a little bit more of a lore and backstory. Once again, another thing about the Cybermen this time, which is pretty unique. I like what they're doing, where they're explaining a lot of stuff and we're getting a lot more information. It's not like big, insane stuff, some of them, except for like the Buu stuff, but it is still interesting. And like I said, besides the rest of the episode, which was kind of meh, there's nothing really happening, the last few minutes was good, which I don't like that, you know. I think that most of the episodes should be good. It shouldn't be just the last few minutes is like interesting or important and then the rest of it is just pointless, fluff, Hopefully the next few episodes they speed it up and, focus more on the story and the world itself than these minor shit like them trying to sleep, them trying to take a dump, them going to a hotel, them complaining about something, them getting pulled up by some weak-ass guards, them fighting some random-ass people that are there that are just annoying, them trying to do this and that. Fight the Tamagamis, get the Dragon Balls, have the progression with the Majin Buu, have Goma do some shit, try to get them to do all their stuff, try to progress that in the story so we can see more what's happening there. Because like I said, I'm not liking the way this is going because right now people are complaining, they're having problems with like how slow it is. And from what I've seen, the viewership of the show has been very low, which that's not a good thing. But I can't blame them. I'm like, first of all, for years people have been wanting Dragon Ball Super to come back and conclude like how they're doing with the manga. And instead of doing that, they brought up a new series that has nothing to do with any of that. And I'm liking it, but it's like a lot of people are not going to want that. They wanted the continuation. So you already dropped out a show that's already going to be, negative with a lot of people. And instead of going fast-paced and giving us a bunch of good shit, you're giving us a bunch of boring stuff. So it was like, wait. So instead of giving us that, you give us this side shit. And now you're wasting our time with this bullshit on top of it instead of just giving us stuff. Like, if it came out and it was entertaining and crazy throughout the entire thing, I think most of the people wanted to complain it would have had a higher viewership. But the fact that they aren't doing that, it's like you guys are already in a bad position. Now you shot yourself in the foot even worse. And now you're just like if you were going to do that, they should have expected the backlash and expected to, try to make it as entertaining as much as possible. So yeah, for me, it's not too big of a problem, but I do see the complaint and I can't blame somebody. If somebody says this shit's boring, I'm like, you know what, you have your right to your opinion. But yeah, the viewership is going down, so it's showcasing that it's not a good thing in general. For me personally, if it was me, I would just speed it up. I would have done more. You have beautiful animation and you're wasting a lot on pretty much nothing. I think they should just hurry up and move it on forward, because now we're having some big stuff happening. Stupid garbage truck. But yeah, I think they should just speed it up. The viewership is low. Will it get up higher? I have a feeling that most people, kind of like with One Piece, a lot of the episodes are going to be kind of pointless or boring. So what people are going to do is wait for the show to be ended. So I think while the show is going on, it's not going to have that many views, but especially until it gets towards more of the tail end. But once when the show is completely done, I think the viewership is going to go up. So right now, I think people are just like, nah, it's not much happening. I'm just going to wait until it's fully over. Then I can watch it all in one sitting, especially nowadays where we got all these streaming services where they drop it all out at once, or do stupid shit like Netflix does where they drop by like parts. But we get to see multiple things at once. We don't have to wait one episode weekly, and a lot of people's mindsets are like that. So I'm assuming that most people are either going to wait until it gets to the tail end, where they can watch everything mostly and see more of the intense episodes, or just wait until the show is completely over and then just watch it all at once in like one big binge sitting, because it's only 20 episodes and it's like 23 minutes long. So that's my prediction for it. I think the viewership is going to stay low until towards the ending and completely when it's over. And even then, it might not go up that much. It might not be that great. It really depends on how much they develop it, but I definitely see people still complaining about it. But right now, I'm kind of getting a little annoyed too with the development. This episode really let me down. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.